Hello and welcome to the unofficial Bossier Senior Hockey League podcast. I'm your host, Corey, joined by my co-host, Corey.
Good day.
A lot of announcements to make today on the podcast, Corey.
Some that we just caught.
Literally, as we're about to record this, one of the announcements was made. So, we can tweak up and record again later in the week if we miss anything big, but it's nice when they're made before we record. And with Corey's work schedule, we've been having to record them early in the week lately. So let's get it started. The Bucktooth JCs announced the return of Logan Timmins and Dan LeBlanc. Corey, how do you feel about that?
I think it's a huge move for them to bring back Logan Timmins. He was my favorite JC last year. And Dan LeBlanc, great player. Glad he's back. I think the JCs are going to be a lot more competitive than last year.
Oh, yeah, I think that's going to be a whole different team this year. Excited to see it. I can't wait to get back to the JK and watch the JCs, but they're forming quite the team right now. Second announcement, the Dalhousie Marauders announced the return of co-league MVP, former guest of the podcast, Mr. Pascal Valcourt.
My Putin brother.
Your Putin brother. He's a great player. He's fun to watch. He's electric. He's so fast, good skill, quick hands. One of my favorite players to watch in the league.
Same. Right
now, before we went live, the Dalhousie Marauders made another announcement. The return of playoff MVP.
Mm-hmm.
MVPs all around in Dalhousie. Mr. Jessica Bernard, another former guest of the podcast.
Too. Yeah.
One of my favorite players to watch in this league. I mean, you try not to have favorites, but Jessica is such a big body. He's skilled. Mm-hmm. He puts himself in front of the net and screens goalies. The champions are not messing around. It looks like they're going to be back to compete next year. Are you surprised by that, Corey?
No, but the second you put Pascal Valcourt and Jessica Bernard, there's a chance they're taking the cup again.
Two of the best players in the league.
Two of my favorites.
Oh my God, I can't. As these big announcements happen, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm getting pretty excited.
Me too. And, having Jessica and Pascal in the league makes the league that much better. Like, they're that good.
The caliber of players in this league, you got to understand, folks, when you're listening to this and you think, oh, it's just senior hockey. These are guys that could go play pro in Europe if they wanted to. Mm-hmm. They could go play pro in the States if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
There's options to make a living playing hockey in this world.
Mm-hmm.
They choose to play in New Brunswick. They choose to play in the BSHL because they want to be closer to their family. They want to be closer to their kids, their wives. And some of them have really good jobs. I mean, we talked to Jesco. He works for the federal government, and he plays really high level BSHL hockey on the weekend. Yeah. It's a pretty, it's an honor to have a guy like that in the league.
Yes. Same with Pascal Valcourt. Knows a mean Putin, vinegar and ketchup. I literally, every time I have a Putin now, got a bottle of vinegar and some ketchup. It's all thanks to Mr. Valcourt.
Man, I'm excited to see those guys back. The next announcement, big announcement by the Miramichi Northmen, they signed William Irvine, formerly of the Summerside Western Capitals of the MHL, using the first of their junior A cards.
It's exciting to see, one card is down, but I don't know, it's growing on me more and more. I'm excited by these junior A's.
It's going to add a lot of high caliber players to all these teams.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that the league is moving in a skilled direction. It's not the senior hockey you grew up with.
No.
I mean, that's the one thing that should be the motto for the league. This ain't your grandpa's senior hockey.
No.
And legitimately, that's what this league is. If you think senior hockey and you think you're watching a bunch of guys drinking beer that can barely skate, no. These guys are really good athletes. They're out there to compete, and they're out there, when you're looking at some of these signings, they're out there to win a cup.
Yeah.
So, huge announcements
about it.
Oh yeah.
What's exciting about these teams is they're not in it just to, prance around and just, no, they're here to win. Every single team that's going to be in the BSHL is here to win.
The next announcement, the Amherst Senior Hockey Club. Still don't have a team name. they've announced their head coach is Scott Farrell, former coach of the Rishabukto. I think at that point they were the Rum Runners. They might have been the MIB 2000. It was in that like transition period.
Yeah.
He also coached in Memram Cook and former QMJHL player. Big signing for Amherst.
Hell yeah.
What is this new league? These big coaches being signed, the Ryan Salvases and the Scott Farrells and other coaches that I've forgotten right now, but we're seeing big announcements for coaches. These are great former players.
Well, it legitimizes the league as not just the little beer league.
Yeah.
This is the best caliber hockey that we can have around here. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not junior hockey. I understand people that love junior hockey that want to go watch Junior A or want to watch the Wildcats or the Teton. I understand that. I mean, I love the Wildcats. I love going to see Teton games. It's fun. But this is some good hockey.
Absolutely. 2022, 2023 is when I started to go see the BSHL. And my expectations were met or like just over met. And the league got better last year. And I think the league is going to be even better this season. So,
can't wait to see the continued growth there.
Yeah, it leaves me speechless sometimes because I'm a huge NHL fan, Montreal Canadiens fan. Go Oilers for tonight, or Oilers for tonight.
Yeah, we have no idea. We're recording this right before the game.
Yeah, it's going to be on in 20 minutes. But yeah, no, it's I'd like to see a few more teams in the league at some point. But for right now, I think it's going to be 7.
Looks like it's going to be 17. I think it's all but been announced that there will only be one team in the peninsula this year, and they're going to be playing, I think, out of a few locations.
That's interesting, though.
Nothing's been announced officially yet, but nobody's folding. They're just, for now, they're merging the teams. So I think that's going to be great. They're going to be, first of all, that team is going to be a competitor for the cup.
Yeah, hands down, yeah. It's going to be one of those things for the peninsula to just be like, this is our team.
Yeah.
No Trackety-Shippigan rivalry. Now we are one. I really, I can't. Can we just skip the next few months and just get to the season already?
I almost wanted to sing like "We Are the World, We Are the." I don't know why you motivated me to start singing there. Sorry, can't make that shit up, man. What are you gonna do? The next announcement that was made, we have a junior B player who is affiliated with the Dalhousie Marauders. Danny Khatib is going to be going to Ohio University, playing some NCAA Division I. So that's a big one.
That's a really big one.
People don't understand one thing with Junior A, Junior B versus the Q. If you play in Junior A or Junior B, you keep your eligibility to play NCAA hockey. So good for him. He's going to go there and play some good hockey and continue to compete. I remember when the Marauders won the cup and they brought him out, and good for him. Congrats to Danny. We love to see it. Yeah. I'm sure he's going to do great things in the States and play some good hockey.
Yep.
And it's always cool that some guy that won the BSHL trophy is going to be playing the NCAA next year. That's going to be fun.
That's wild.
So, it's crazy. And then we've still got a couple golf tournaments coming up, so we're just going to shout that out real quick. The Hawks have their golf tournament on July 6th. Santinias Golf Club, 4-person scramble. Check out their Facebook page for more information. You can register for that. Highly recommend you get out there and support the Hawks if you're a Hawks fan, or if you're just a fan of this league. The Marauders have a golf tournament coming up on July 25th. Get out there and support the Marauders. Man, we love the Marauders. They're awesome people. So, get out there. They're going to be at the Restigouche Golf and Country Club on July 25th. $100 per person. Solid price. Great deal. And you get to support a phenomenal team at the same time. Meet some Marauders players, I'm sure, while you're there too.
Oh, yes.
That's a phenomenal organization. There's a lot of great people out there, and we love them. We love to see it. So I think that's all we've got for announcements right now, Corey.
I
I'm not sure. The league had their league meeting over the weekend, and there was a few things that came out, a few things that we can't talk about yet. But I think the big one was official. The Peninsula is going to have the one team. There's some talk about what the fight rule is going to be. We're still not sure. We haven't gotten anything confirmed yet. People's zones are still being figured out as well. So, where are the lines drawn, who can get players from where, and what caliber are those players. Those are the things that you see discussed at these league meetings. Not necessarily exciting stuff, and nothing much to report about it, but it is what creates the foundation for this league.
Yes.
The one thing that I do want to talk about, and I'm going to have to pull it up here because I don't have it right in front of me, but Corey, you want to talk, sing, and dance, something? Do something for me here. Come on now.
I tweaked my knee at work.
How'd that happen?
I wish I knew.
You don't know how it happened?
I went to break and tried to get up and had massive pain in my knee, and
we're getting old, eh?
We're getting old, and it's weird. It's like underneath the kneecap, and
it sucks to get old. That's all I can say. It sucks
to get old, but I'll soldier on. I'm fine.
Are you sure?
Well, by the look of my face, no.
It doesn't look good, but you feel like you're going to be okay.
Yes, it looks horrible.
Oh, Corey, come on now. You're too harsh on yourself.
Oh, no. All my ex-girlfriends used to say that. I was handsome at first, and then they were like, God, get away from me.
Oh, my God. Corey, what are we going to do with you? What are we going to do with you?
You should have just left me in Dalhousie.
Thought about it.
But then it would have been their problems, and they're really nice people. You don't want to do that to them.
You can't do that to them.
Come on, Travis is a great guy.
This is your last week of work for this period?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I can't wait. The second we're done, July 12th, we got North Pro. July 13th, we got Mythos Ragnarok. July 19th, Dave Boyce Championship Wrestling. That's right, DBCW.
You're excited to get some wrestling shows, eh?
I'm so excited. Almost as excited as I am for hockey to start back.
Not quite the same. All right, so I've got my notes finally up here. The schedule and playoff format's been announced. Well, not announced, but we know it, so we're going to talk about it because, screw it. There's now going to be what they're talking about doing is a 24-game schedule. So a double home and home with each team. Last year, I think it was 18 games.
18 or 19, yeah.
It was 18. So awesome to see more. Might have been 20. I'm trying to think. I don't know.
I don't think it was
18. So anyway, 24-game schedule, so more games. Playoffs are going to be some best of sevens again, so that's going to be great. I think the first round's best of fives, and then best of sevens the rest of the way. Should be a really competitive league. We can't wait for it. 24 games. That's and the season's not going to be stretched out any longer, by my understanding. It's just that a lot of teams had bigger gaps, weekends off, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. They're just going to fit some games into those weekends off. So can't wait. Guys will also be able to miss a couple games and still get to the amount needed to play in the playoffs. So
yeah,
we have our top 5 coming up now, Corey.
Yep.
What's our top 5 for the week?
Top 5 coldest rinks.
All right, where do you want to start? 5?
5.
All right, let's hear yours.
So, I'll be honest, 5-2. I had to go off memory.
Yeah.
At different times.
Number 1 is where you lost your toe, though, so you remember that one.
I lost a couple toes, lost a pinky finger, lost my eyebrows. Number 5 for me, Rishabuktu.
Number 5 for you is Rishabuktu. Okay.
Yeah, I remember being pretty cool, especially behind the goalie. Like when we stand behind the goalie, it gets pretty frosty there.
Number 5 for me, I do have an honorable mention that I'll mention at the end.
Okay.
Number 5 for me is Shippigan. If you sit at the end of the rink.
Okay.
If you sit on the side, they have those heaters. There was a game in Shippigan. I want to say it was in the playoffs. I had an anxiety attack. And I had to go sit elsewhere just to like catch my breath and relax for a minute. And the end was kind of empty. So I went there and sat there and froze my ass off while I got rid of my anxiety because it was cold as heck because there's no heaters over there.
Yeah.
So if you're falling asleep at a game in Shippigan, you got to get up and go to the end across from the canteen and you'll be wide awake in that cold ass rink. So
yeah.
That's my number 5.
Number 4, I have Spring Hill.
Okay. It's funny. My number 4 is Trackety.
Okay.
Trackety's a cold rink for me.
See, I'm a lot of what you're saying I have coming.
Yeah, I know that.
And to me, Spring Hill was just cold everywhere.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that
could have been higher. Could have been higher, but I feel like 3 and 2, there were 1 or 2 specific games where I really like froze.
So for me, Spring Hill's my number 3.
Okay.
And I'll tell you the story about Spring Hill for me. Remember that there was that one game we went to. I don't remember who it was against. Or it was early in the season though, and it was so cold in there. Like I couldn't feel my toes.
That was
unreal.
The game with Dave Boyce, right?
I don't remember who it was, man, but it was freezing.
I remember that game very well, and it was Spring Hill versus LC.
Okay. I just remember freezing in that rink. So that's my number 3. That's your number 4. My number 4 is Trackety. It's just, for me, that's just a cold rink, but not terrible. It was really bad that last game where we were standing at the end there.
Yeah.
But then we were also kind of warm because there was people all around us. Why is Spring Hill your number 4?
Just cold everywhere. There's like no heaters. Just wherever you go, there's like coldness.
And there's no warm place. You can't watch it from like inside, like an LC a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And my number 3 is Trackety, by the way.
Okay, so we just swapped those two.
We just swapped these.
Why is Trackety number 3?
There is the Charles Austin game where we had him on the podcast, and the next weekend, I believe, we were in Trackety and he like waved us and great game. I just remember standing and freezing.
That's it. You just remember standing and it being cold as hell?
Being very cold.
I remember Cheryl being scared to fall down the benches.
That's the best. And was this the game? They were versus Shippigan, right?
That was the game, the goal, the
goal game, yeah.
The Bezzo goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was that game. Trackety's a cold friggin' rink, man.
Yeah.
What's your number 2?
Shippigan.
Shippigan's number 2 for you?
They
have heaters.
The game. Do you remember? You were not there.
Yeah, I missed one game.
So you missed one game where it was myself, the great Cheryl, and Mama Podcast. Yep. And this is the game where I got sick midway there.
It went to overtime, that game too, right?
It went to overtime, and I was standing behind, like, not where the seats are, but behind the seats. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you were standing behind the seats. You were like in the not the side near the canteen. You're on the opposite side, like near the hash marks of the circles. I remember watching the live stream.
Yeah, I remember a fan of the podcast, Cleo.
Yeah.
He like saw me and like, hey, where's the other court? I'm a big fan and all that. So shout out to Cleo. I remember starting to feel sick midway there and not having a panic attack. I don't have those. I'm weird. I get that because everybody has panic attacks and I don't. But I remember just like feeling anxious because I'm like, shit, I'm sick right now. I just like turned the knob to sick. And I'm like, do I tell Cheryl and Mama Podcast? Do I play it off? And I'm like, maybe it'll go away. By the time we got to the arena, not only am I freezing, but I am like feverish. Like I'm like, is this COVID? Like I'm just like not feeling good. And I'm doing the stream, I'm doing the commentary, I'm playing it off so well. I recently like skipped through that game a little bit just to see how I sounded like for this. And you know, you couldn't tell that I was sick. But by the time it ended in overtime, I'm freezing. Yeah. And I remember getting in the car, still freezing, And I remember telling Cheryl, put the heat on. And I never say put the heat on. She put the heat on. I never got warm. And Cheryl was like, Are you warm now? Because I'm boiling. And I'm like, yep, more. And I wasn't. I was just like, being nice to Cheryl because she deserves kindness sometimes, you know. Corey. I remember getting home that night and getting into bed, wrapping like the blanket around me, and all the skin around my back was like ice cold. Like and it was that Shippigan game. So for that reason, went on a little bit of a ranty story there, but for that reason, number 2 is Shippigan.
My number 2 is Elsa Puck Duck, so the Rishabakta Arena. Although to be fair, the Elsa Puck Duck Arena is also freezing freaking cold. My God, it's a cold rink. I love that little rink though. The rink in Rishabakta, especially if you're down behind the net, like you mentioned, it is really cold. But I really do like that rink. Like, there's nothing wrong with that rink. I enjoy going to games in that rink, but it's cold as hell in that tiny rink. Good thing they have some good food there.
Yeah.
Number 1. Do you want to say it at the same time?
Well, wait a minute. For the second week in a row, we've had the exact same list. This one was just a little different.
Yep.
But on 3?
Yeah, sure. Try to count it down. We're going to mess up the timing. We'll go for it.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
River Valley.
Doketown, River Valley.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no question. Why?
The hell do you mean why? Have you been there?
I have. Many times.
The kicker for me that makes me laugh is the coin-operated heaters that no one ever uses. Yeah,
they're a little pricey and they don't stay on long. And by the time they don't stay on long enough to warm you up. So nobody uses it.
I would like people listening to this to just imagine our beautiful host there, Corey, sitting on those benches with a hot pink blanket wrapped around him.
Absolutely.
I had to see that a few times.
I'm man enough to admit it. It's so cold in River Valley that I've looked at different things to put like little heater things in your boots to warm you up. It's the only place that's made me look for a heated jacket. There's heated jackets so you can recharge now. I've looked into those a little bit only for River Valley. That rink is...
And it's funny because
one of my favorites.
It's still one of my favorite rinks.
I love that rink.
I think that it wouldn't be that nostalgic if the Lumberjacks didn't go to the finals, because we spent a lot of time in Doketown and ate a lot of those fantastic burgers, the best burgers on earth, in my opinion. And you know, you got the warm room, and then you got the absolutely freezing cold, you know, lose a pinky toe at the arena. That's what it is.
My honorable mention is the game at Dalhousie that you didn't make it to.
Yeah. I knew you were going to mention that one.
So friggin' cold before the game because the power went out. We didn't know the power went out that day. The power went out, so the heaters hadn't been on. It was so cold. We complained about it, and then Mark Giroux, who we didn't even know at that point, Mark Giroux was actually like, it's not normally that cold here, guys. The power was out that day. And I remember thinking, okay, Mark, bullshit. Like, I don't know this guy, but I don't know, man. He was 100% right. I've been to a bunch of games in Dalhousie. It's not that cold there. But that game, man, my nose was freezing. That's the infamous game that was so cold. Cheryl had to leave to go get blankets, which then caused her to walk into the Elspeth Hawks locker room and made one of the greatest stories in the history of the Beausejour Senior Hockey League podcast. So thank you to the power for being out. Thank you to the Dalhousie Marauders for not having security by that locker room. It made for a hell of a story.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back to Dalhousie just to talk with Mark Giroux. What a fantastic guy that guy is.
I love Mark, man. He's such a nice guy. He's got a great voice. He does the announcing in Dalhousie, and he's always got a huge smile. Huge smile. What a guy.
The world can learn a thing from him. He's always happy. He's always cheerful. He loves the Marauders. He loves senior hockey. And here at the BSHL, we love Mark Giroux.
Yeah, we're big fans of Mark and everybody in Dalhousie. Corey, it's 8:58. We're going to go watch that Oilers game now.
Yep. So go Oilers. The Oilers win the cup, or congratulations, Florida.
Yeah, you'll know this when you listen to it, but we're
Yeah.
pretty excited right now. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Corey, thanks for being here. We'll be back next Monday. See you soon.
Take care.